tonight we're going to make the banana chocolate chip true muffins from the Complete Truth protein recipe book. And if you don't have, you probably have the ebook at home. If you don't have a copy at all, you can head to
go to completetruthprotein.com, and in the top bar there'll be a drop down that says free recipe book. So that's what we're referring to right now.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about jotting down the ingredients or anything like that. You can have your own copy. And some of you probably do already. So I just started off by talking about some of the ingredients and how we can transform a regular recipe into a more healthy one by substituting with different ingredients. So instead of conventional flour, we're going to be using the Complete Truth protein. And if you don't have that on hand at home, any gluten-free flour of your choice will work. I prefer the Complete Truth protein because of its consistency, and it rises really nice in the baking. It gives it a moist texture instead of some of those other gluten-free flours that give you a rock hard texture sometimes. That can be frustrating. I've been there, been through all that. And after testing and testing, I find that the Complete Truth works the best. Instead of sugar, there's a variety of options you can use. This is my big tub of local unpasteurized honey here that I get from a lady here in town in Olds. And it's great honey. It's nice and creamy. Because it's the creamed honey, not the liquid honey, I just throw it on the stove and I just on low heat to just melt it if I'm using it in a recipe. So that's something you can do beforehand. There's also other varieties of sweetener you can use as well, agave being one of those. Agave is fine to use. Also, there is some sugars as well, some healthier options. This one here is coconut sugar. You can get cane sugar, all kinds of different raw, unrefined sugar. So feel free to experiment. I know when I started healthy baking, I tried all kinds of things. Some things turned out, some didn't turn out. So you just kind of have to guess and test, see what you prefer as well. Instead of butter or oil, we use applesauce. And this is a homemade applesauce made by our friend Brenda. So thanks, Brenda. And I believe it's from apples from her backyard. So that's even better. So. And then, of course, fruit is a great sweetener too, natural sweetener in baking. I think that's it. This recipe doesn't require egg, but for future recipes, if there's an egg and you don't want egg in your recipe, if you're not eating eggs, you can always use chia seed in water. So 1 tablespoon chia seed and 3 tablespoons of water, mix that together until it gets kind of jelly-like, and that'll give you 1 egg. So if you are doing eggless, more vegan style, you can try that out. So let's go ahead and get started here, just for some prep. I melted the honey already, like I said, and the oven's preheated to 350. I'm gonna do my recipe in the blender tonight. It was Dylan that sent in or posted a recipe about blender recipe. So I thought, well, I'll show you guys how I do mine in the blender. I love it. Just throw everything in and pour it in the cups, and away you go. Well. Pardon me?
Chris did as well.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So here we go. So most of the ingredients are already measured out, but I'll just start here. Peel a banana. So 3 bananas are going in first.
Did you guys know that monkeys peel bananas from the bottom? True story. So if you squeeze the bottom, this is pretty ripe. So you can just, that whole thing comes off, but I don't know where I learned that from. Anyways.
Well, I've told my students that from Drew, and they think that's quite interesting.
Interesting fact you'll never use.
So 3 bananas, and then half a cup of almond milk. So if you want dairy-free, use dairy-free milk of your choice, almond milk, coconut milk. So half a cup. And then throw in your applesauce. Just grab a spoon. So 1/4 cup of applesauce, half a cup of milk, that was. And then I'll get you to grab that honey, Drew. And quarter a cup of honey is what the recipe says, but you can adjust. If you like it a bit sweeter, then go ahead, make it a bit sweeter by adding a little bit more. Less sweet, just add less honey. And the recipe does call for vanilla. We don't have vanilla, so I won't be adding vanilla to this recipe. If you're wondering why. So that is all of the liquid ingredients, the wet ingredients. So I'm just going to, before I add my dry, I'm just going to put the top on and let it rip.
Unfortunately, this is live, so we can't cut it out and bring you back and finish.
Yeah, but it doesn't take long. I just pulse mine, put mine on pulse. And there we go. Just easy like that. No mashing the bananas with the fork, So nice. And then we'll just throw in our dry ingredients. So we have a cup of complete truth protein. And a quarter cup of ground flax. Now the recipe calls for a half a cup of wheat bran. We do not have wheat bran here, and of course the wheat bran would not be gluten-free. So another option is you can throw in some rolled oats. You could also blend your rolled oats if you don't want them full oats. So you can make your own oat bran by just using the oats you have and grinding them up in your blender. I do not do that previously, so I will just throw in the whole oats. That will be fine too. And one ingredient we didn't talk about was salt. Instead of the refined white salt, table salt, we're using Himalayan salt, or sea salt is another option too. And ours is the crystals, so I'm not going to measure. It does say half of a teaspoon, but I'll just give it a few grinds here. I like to, sometimes I don't like to measure. So I just guess a little bit.
We get our salt products from MAK Mystic Expressions, so you can check them out online if you like, for future salt lamps, salt products, salt shakers, all kinds of different stuff. So
all kinds of stuff, and all kinds of they have fine grind, coarse grind. They have even sell these whole shakers, so you should check them out if you're interested. And then just the baking powder, baking soda. The recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I like to throw in a little bit of baking soda in there too, just to help it rise a bit better. So I'm gonna do 1.5 teaspoons of the powder and then half a teaspoon of the soda. And I just find it rises a bit better that way. And then the best part of all is the chocolate chips. Now, there is healthier versions of chocolate chips available. So these ones are the ones I purchased, and the brand is called Enjoy Life. They have a few different varieties. This one is the dark chocolate variety. And the ingredients, there's just 2 ingredients, and that's cacao and brown sugar. So it's nice. You don't have all of a long list of ingredients, and then they are, gluten-free, no soy. There's just, it's nice. That's one of the, when you buy the conventional ones, it's full of sugar and soy, so it's nice to have good, clean chocolate chips.
Tell them about cacao nibs.
Oh yeah, I should have dug some up to show you. But cacao nibs are even better than these health-wise. It's just the ground up cacao bean. And then I thought the first time I tried them, I thought they'd be like really bitter in the baking. But with the honey in this recipe, it actually is quite, like the muffins still taste quite sweet. And then being inside the muffins, it does add a little crunch, but the nibs get softer too, being inside the baking. So try those out as well, the cacao nibs. Yeah, so that's just another option for you. And I do get a little happy sometimes with my chocolate chips, so I will measure. It says a half a cup, but if that's too many for you, you can just decrease that amount. And I usually give it a couple blends in the blender and then hand stir mine just so it doesn't get, the chocolate chips don't get all mixed up. And then I stir it by hand a little bit. And then that's it. You just pour it in the cups and it's ready to go. So make sure again you've preheated the oven to 350. Takes about 15-20 minutes to cook, and you're ready to go. You have some healthy banana chocolate chip muffins to go. That's it. Any questions come through, Drew?
So Dorothy will post a picture of these in our group afterwards. She's pouring right now, but
Yeah.
that's gonna wrap it up, I think. Just want to thank you guys for being here, for checking this out. Thanks for staying with us through the technical difficulties, and I think that's it. These are delicious. Try at home. They're super easy. Our prep time took a little bit longer for it. Short, and I think you'll find with most of our recipes in the Complete Truth Protein recipe book that they are simple and they are short and they don't take a whole lot of time. And as you'll find throughout trying the recipes and through checking out some of our videos like this, that excuse me, that they really don't take long to prepare, and then you can prepare recipes that are healthy and taste good. I think that's the biggest thing that we want to get across, that baking, you can eat baking. You don't have to feel guilty when you're eating clean baking like this, and you can have baking that's healthy as well. So when we put these types of snacks in the meal plan, you guys all have meal plans within our private group. So if we put something like this in your meal plan with maybe a piece of fruit or a muffin or a granola bar, you shouldn't feel guilty about eating that, because there's a reason that we bake this way and prepare our food that way, because these are the nutrients that your body needs and wants, and it's okay to eat baking that's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, thanks for checking this out, and we'll see most of you back in the private group.
Yes, thanks for joining us this evening. We'll see you on the group.